What is going on, Spider-Man PS4 fans? It's your boy Amaziah here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick rundown of some things that the creator-director Bryan actually talked about within a 114 rapid-fire questions video. These things are going to be the important things from that video, so if you want to go check out the whole video and listen to all of the funny skits that they had, I will have the video in the description below, but if you came just for the information, let's get right into it. So the first thing is something that I feel like is very sad that they had to confirm for a single-player game about a very strong IP, and that's that there will be no loot boxes. Now, of course, the creative director Bryan said hell no to loot boxes, and straight up, that's a good thing. Hell no to loot boxes. That's the fucking aesthetic everyone should feel to this bullshit. Fuck loot boxes, dog. Let's get some good games out here like Spider-Man PS4. There also will be a strong Maryjane, so if you were worried that although Maryjane will be playable and it got confirmed that she will have stealth missions, it would eventually dissolve into a love story between her and Peter Parker. I'm not saying they probably won't fall in love by the end of the story, but it won't be one of those damsels in distress type of situations going on here. She will be a strong character. Customization in different suits were also confirmed, so the customization isn't something that I feel like was actually taken in the right context by a lot of people. I feel like what he meant by this was that there will be customization to a degree, meaning we may be able to change up certain aspects to different costumes or maybe mix and match costumes. However, there won't be customization in the sense that, of course, you'll be able to create your very own Peter Parker and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be possible. Or, of course, even your very own Spider-Man suits. Now, you can probably mix around, of course, the torso and the legs area to different, of course, suits. You can probably mix those two together. My favorite, of course, Spider-Man costume is the one that O'Hara wears. It's fucking amazing. I love it. But of course, I'm not expecting to be able to create my very own version of that through customization. So I'm not saying that it's wrong, of course, that there will be customization, but rather that I feel like people are overhyping it to a degree. The next thing is RPG elements and leveling elements within a game. So I don't know how this is going to work, obviously. I don't know if this means that there will be grunts that you can't take on, like everything will be at your disposal from the beginning. So we know that you can take down Kingpin within this game, right? Let's just say that it hasn't been revealed yet, but from the moment you start the game, if you know where Kingpin is, you can go straight to that area and take him on. So through the leveling system, it'll probably be tougher to take out the grunts and of course the brutes leading up to Kingpin and ultimately Kingpin himself. But of course those elements are there to ensure that there is some type of balancing to whether or not you want to go ahead and just go fight the Kingpin or even go fight Mr. Negative outright at the beginning of the story when you first start up the game. And I don't know if that's what they mean by leveling, or do they just mean that there will be different, of course, abilities that you can gain through some type of leveling system of sorts. However, the way they spoke about it does seem like they were talking about RPG-esque elements within Spider-Man PS4. The next thing to talk about has something to do with the functionality of the game, and that's that the game will be locked at 30 frames per second both ways, meaning that even if you have the PS4 Pro, you won't be playing Spider-Man PS4 at 60 frames per second, and I'm hoping that this was something that actually had to happen rather than trying to be fair to people who didn't buy a PlayStation 4 Pro or not wanting to have to deal with having to, of course, make the game function right at 30 and 60 FPS, and we don't get an update later allowing for 60 FPS on the PlayStation 4 Pro. The next thing is that the Avengers Tower was found by the Game Informer players. The people who got to play it from Game Informer, they did find the Avengers Tower within their play session. So we don't know if the Avengers or anything like that will make an appearance in this game. However, he did speak about minor Marvel characters potentially making an appearance. And when he says minor, I believe he means someone like Deadpool, someone that it would make sense that they could be present around the time that all of this is going on. But of course, it makes sense that they didn't get involved, and Spider-Man, of course, has to be the hero of the game, rather than, of course, teaming up with this person or this other individual, and of course, dealing with this in 24 fucking hours. Because we know that the game also will take place over the span of a few weeks. So that's pretty much the timeline of the game. So I'm guessing that the story mode will probably be somewhere around 40 hours. As the villains we have confirmed right now is a minor villain, Shocker, Kingpin, which is going to be the first half of the game, and then we're also going to have, of course, Mr. Negative, with potentially maybe, of course, Anti-Venom as probably the final villain, or maybe some kind of secret boss or villain within the story. I don't think he will be like the dominant villain. I believe that the poster villain villain. Mr. Negative will be the true villain, but of course, I do also think Anti-Venom will make an appearance of some sorts. Speaking of other villains, we have Doc Ock, Sandman, and Kangaroo, who also got hinted, although they weren't actually revealed. So coming into the last few bits of information, we have a photo mode that also goes into the NPC interactivity. So you'll be able to go up to the NPCs, which are non-player characters, and interact with them. You can shoot finger guns at them, you can high-five them and stuff like that. And of course, you can just interact with them like they regularly would with Spider-Man, as we've seen in like the films and stuff like that. So also, the final bit of information is that post-release content is planned, and post-release content translates to DLC. So Spider-Man PS4 could potentially get a Goblin, of course, story arc through DLC, as we know that OSBORN will be in this game. Of course, we know that they wanted to take this, like, we know that the creative director, if I'm not mistaken, it was the creative director that said that his favorite Spider-Man game of all time is the old PlayStation 1 Spider-Man games, to where it's pretty much like almost every villain at that point within the game, and they're kind of in like different buildings, and you have to go stop their plans and stuff and dwarf their plans as Spider-Man to steal something and stuff like that. I remember playing those games when I was a kid, and if you were born in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you just collect Spider-Man games in general, you'll know what I'm talking about. But obviously, that's all the news that we have for Spider-Man PS4 from the creative director Bryan. There are a few other things I want to cover, such as the new trailer that we got or the new teaser that we got. I do want to actually do a full analysis of it, pinpointing to you guys some things that I've saw. And then, of course, there's also new gameplay tidbits that I'm going to have to throw in there. Of course, that reveal completely new things and just show, like, bits and pieces of the depth that Spider-Man PS4 combat system and of course its movement and web swinging will have, as they've spoken about that as well. So this has been your boy Amaziah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the news and information. Thank you guys for supporting the content. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace the heck out. They say I'm seasoned like crawfish in Louisiana, which is funny cause they don't really know me. I got a tempered mind from heated situations I've been through.